To me, what we saw was a glimpse of why this needs to end. This LeBron, Luka, LeBron. We know it's Luka's team, but isn't that?
LeBron James just told a reporter he did not even know what day it was after losing a home game to a shorthanded Orlando Magic team. Not a joke, a direct quote. And sports commentator Kelvin Washington saw enough. He went on record demanding the Lakers remove LeBron from the roster immediately. Not next offseason, right now, before any more damage gets done. Do you think the Lakers should fully commit to the Luka era right now and move on from LeBron James before the playoffs? Or do you believe LeBron still gives them a better chance to win? Drop your honest answer in the comments right now.
Has 5 to get it in. Luka with 5 seconds. Luka, LeBron for the win! And Orlando's gonna sneak out of here with a victory!
Let's start with the quote, because it deserves to be the first thing anyone hears when discussing this Lakers loss. A reporter asked LeBron James after the game how he would assess where the team is and the growth they have shown over the past 3 weeks. LeBron's response was this. He said he did not know what today was when he woke up. He said the reporter was asking the wrong guy about the last 3 weeks. Let that breathe for a second. LeBron James, 4 championships, 22 years in the league. The man who has positioned himself in his own words and in the words of everyone around him as one of the greatest leaders and most intelligent players the NBA has ever produced. After losing a home game to an Orlando Magic team missing 2 starters, asked about his own team's performance, said he did not know what day it was and suggested the reporter find someone else to ask.
Because I think in his subconscious, he is so used to being alpha. He's so used to being, we saw it. It's not like we're new to this. We saw what he did in Dallas for 5 years, 6 years. Dominant, taking shots, big shots, all that. And I think there was a part of him that just simply, even if it was a 5% of his brain that pump faked, like, LeBron, what would he? And he just gives it to LeBron. And LeBron, like, you're wide open. And it was almost kind of a reverse Spider-Man situation where, like,
sure.
Wait, you, because there's been times where we all thought, well, LeBron, you can shoot that. Why didn't you shoot that? You overthought that. And then Luka had a LeBron like I overthought that moment. And a part of it to me is just a microcosm or an example of why this just isn't gonna work.
That is not a man having a bad night. That is a 41-year-old running out of answers and not even bothering to pretend otherwise anymore. And that is precisely why Kelvin Washington went on record and said what the mainstream sports media affiliated with Clutch Sports has been carefully avoiding saying for months. Get LeBron James off this roster. Not managed, not rested, off. Before he does any more damage to what could legitimately be a championship window built around the most gifted offensive player in the sport right now in Luka Doncic.
Another thing that we saw, Rob G, if you're into the mouth reading thing and all that, Luka said after the game, after it happened, on the sidelines right after the play, kind of talking to his teammates, he said, LeBron told me to pass the ball, so I passed the ball. Kind of like, if you remember, of course, you went to Michigan, you remember the timeout, and Chris Webber's like, y'all telling me to call timeout.
Washington did not mince a single word. He argued that LeBron is actively suffocating Luka's development as the face of this franchise, that his presence in the lineup is costing the Lakers winnable games, that keeping him on the floor out of legacy respect while the season circles the drain is the most expensive mistake this organization can make. Now, let's talk about the actual game, because the quote is the headline, but the basketball is the indictment.
What was supposed to happen on that last play? I know you said you didn't get the look and shot you wanted.
No, we executed. Like I said, I feel like I'm not sure. I mean, obviously you have to ask Luka what he saw on that, but I thought he had a good look, and it looked like he kind of just lost his balance. Didn't have the rhythm with the ball, whatever the case may be, and it kind of allowed him to get back in front of him. I was kind of off balance when he gave it to me. I thought he had a great look, but that's what I look. That's my POV.
The Lakers led by 13 points in the second half against a Magic team missing Jalen Suggs and Franz Wagner. 2 starters, gone. The game was essentially handed to the Lakers, and they found a way to give it back one possession at a time until the Magic walked out of Crypto.com Arena with a 110-109 win that left the Lakers sitting at 6th in the Western Conference with their second straight loss following a 22-point humiliation against the Boston Celtics 3 days earlier. The defensive breakdown that cost them the game is worth examining in specific detail because it tells you everything about the problems that have been sitting in this roster all season.
Point game. Banchero into the lane. Bane open three. Bane knocks down a three.
Desmond Bane had gone 0 for 5 from 3 through the first 3 quarters. 0 for 5. He was ice cold. He was exactly the kind of shooter you absolutely cannot give an open rhythm look to in the fourth quarter of a close game. Because when Desmond Bane finds his range, he is one of the most dangerous shot makers in the league. Everyone in that building knew it. Every coach on that bench knew it. Every veteran who has been in the league long enough to understand situational basketball knew it. LeBron James gambled. He abandoned his assignment. He left Bane standing open on the perimeter with 34.6 seconds left and the Magic down 1. Bane drilled the go-ahead 3. Magic lead. 1-point game. James Worthy, a man who won 3 championships with the Showtime Lakers, who played for Pat Riley, who understands what championship-level defense looks like from direct personal experience, looked at that play and called it exactly what it was. He said LeBron got suckered in. Those are not gentle words from a franchise legend. That is a former champion describing a fundamental defensive failure from a player who has been in this league for 22 years and has no excuse for not knowing better in that specific situation. You stay home on Desmond Bane in the fourth quarter of a one-possession game. That is not a complicated concept. That is basic situational awareness. And LeBron made the wrong decision at the worst possible moment.
But the game was not over at that point. There was still time. The Lakers got the ball back. LeBron and Luka connected for a dunk. Lakers up by 1 with 6.7 seconds left. Magic ball. Paolo Banchero missed a pull-up shot on the other end. And then, the moment that actually decided the game happened. Nobody grabbed the defensive rebound. Not LeBron, not DeAndre Ayton, not anyone wearing a Lakers uniform fought for that basketball. Wendell Carter Jr., Orlando's backup center, outworked every single Laker on the floor for the most important rebound of the game. He tipped it in, Magic lead, final seconds, game over. The Orlando Magic out-rebounded the Lakers 47-39. They grabbed 13 offensive rebounds that converted into 15 second chance points in a one-point game. They outscored the Lakers 58-50 in the paint. Against a Los Angeles roster that gets paid collectively more than any team in the history of the sport, Orlando's backup center grabbed the winning rebound because nobody on the home team wanted it badly enough. JJ Redick described the loss as deflating. Not disappointing, not unacceptable, deflating. Like something that loses air slowly over time and eventually collapses under its own weight. And after 57 games, he still admitted in a press conference that this team has not found its identity yet. He said he thinks eventually they will figure it out. 57 games in. Thanksgiving was 3 months ago. Phil Jackson knew what his teams were by Thanksgiving. JJ Redick is still waiting for eventually. And the reason he is still waiting is sitting right there in the lineup every single night, taking up space and usage that belongs to the actual franchise player. Now, let's talk about the final play, because it is the scene that crystallizes every single problem this team has in one uncomfortable moment. Luka Doncic caught the inbound on the left wing with 6.7 seconds remaining. Wide open. Clean look at a three that would have won the game. He hesitated. He picked up his dribble. He got doubled by Banchero and Anthony Black. He passed the ball back to LeBron James, standing in the corner, covered by Jonathan Isaac. LeBron launched a contested, off-balance, fadeaway three at the buzzer. It hit the rim and fell away. Game over. Lakers lose. Then came the post-game press conference and the real damage. LeBron sat at the podium and discussed the final play. He mentioned Luka's name, or his balance, or his decision-making 4 times in 3 sentences. He said he thought Luka had a great look. He said it looked like Luka kind of lost his balance. He said Luka did not have a rhythm with the ball. He said he himself was kind of off balance when Luka gave it to him. He framed everything around what Luka did or did not do in those final seconds. without once acknowledging that a 41-year-old veteran receiving an off-balance pass in the corner with no time left and launching a contested fadeaway three is not the execution of a well-designed play. The camera caught Luka's face while LeBron was talking. 5 words formed on his lips that the whole building could see without needing audio. Then the reporter went to Luka. He said 4 words and walked away. That is on me. Not 4 paragraphs about his teammates' balance. Not 4 sentences analyzing what someone else saw on the play. That is on me. Full stop. Done. A 25-year-old took complete accountability for a loss that a 41-year-old helped create through a defensive gamble that gave up the go-ahead basket and a rebound contest that his team collectively failed. And the 41-year-old sat at the podium and talked about Luka's rhythm. Kelvin Washington watched all of this and said what he said. The Lakers need to remove LeBron from this roster immediately. Not next offseason, now. Before one more possession gets hijacked. Before one more press conference where the franchise player redirects blame toward the teammate who is actually carrying this team. The numbers support Washington's position completely. Luka Doncic is averaging 32.8 points, 7.8 rebounds, and 8.6 assists per game. Those are historically great numbers. Those are MVP frontrunner numbers on a team currently sitting at 6th in the Western Conference. He is doing his job at an elite level every single night, regardless of the result. The team is failing around him and behind him, not because of him. LeBron James missed the first 14 games of the season with his sciatica issues. The Lakers went 11-4 without him. Luka and Austin Reeves were trading 40-point games. The team had energy and identity and a clear offensive system. Since LeBron returned, the trajectory has been exactly what the lineup data suggested it would be. When Luka and Reeves play without LeBron, the net rating is plus 18. When all 3 share the floor, the team becomes one of the worst offensive units in the league. Brian Windhorst put the differential at 20 points per 100 possessions. Those numbers have not changed. They have only continued to accumulate and confirm what they have been saying all season. According to Bleacher Report, the Lakers organization has already quietly begun internal planning centered around Luka Doncic as the franchise cornerstone going forward. The conversations have happened. The planning has shifted. The only thing that has not happened yet is someone in the building saying it out loud with the same directness that Kelvin Washington used from the outside. Paolo Banchero scored 36 points against the Lakers. He was 23 years old and he was more prepared for that moment than the 41-year-old on the other side of the floor. He bullied his way to the free throw line, converted 10 of 11, and scored most of his field goals inside the arc against a Lakers defense that showed no appetite for physical confrontation. He said he knew he had to step up with his teammates missing, and he did it without hesitation or self-analysis at the podium afterward. That is the contrast that defines this Lakers problem. The Magic came into Hollywood short-handed, hungry, and accountable. They out-rebounded, out-fought, and outlasted a team with more talent, more salary, more experience, and apparently less will to do the basic things that winning basketball requires. The Lakers have 25 games left in the regular season. The Phoenix Suns come next. Oklahoma City, Denver, and Houston are all watching from above in the standings. The play-in tournament is not a hypothetical anymore. It is a real and present outcome that this roster is trending toward at exactly the wrong time of year. LeBron James did not know what day it was when he woke up on Tuesday morning. The Western Conference playoffs start in April. He has approximately 8 weeks to remember what month it is and find an answer to a question that James Worthy, Kelvin Washington, the lineup data, the rebounding numbers, the post-game podium footage, and 25 remaining games are all asking at the same time. Is LeBron James the reason this team cannot find its identity? And if the answer is yes, what exactly is the organization waiting for before they do something about it? The calendar is moving, the standings are moving, the season is moving, whether LeBron knows what day it is or not. LeBron left the podium talking about Luka's balance, while Luka said, "That's on me," and walked away. The standings say 6th place. The rebounding numbers say 47-39, and Kelvin Washington said what needed to be said. This franchise has a decision to make before April arrives. If you see it too, hit that like button and subscribe right now.